The Mario Kart series began with Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. As the first game in the series, it's alright. This game is heavily inspired by the Super Nintendo's other Mario game at the time, Super Mario World, and so is the rest of Mario's World at the time. To cut a long story short, Super Mario Kart came from the idea of wanting to make a multiplayer racing game. Nintendo had made other racing games before, such as the F1 games on the Famicom, also starring Mario, but their most globally popular one was F-Zero. Nintendo took the engine of F-Zero in order to create what we know now as Super Mario Kart, replacing the races with more popular Mario characters. Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Princess Peach, Bowser, Toad, Koopa Troopa, and Donkey Kong Jr., and created what we all know and love today. Many prototypes of early versions of Super Mario Kart have been found by the cutting room floor, with each version having very interesting stuff inside of them. The first was known as the 1991 alpha of the game, which doesn't really have that much of a game, and is instead just a test of what the game could be. There's only 3 characters in this game: Mario, Luigi, and Bowser, and in this alpha, Luigi is just a retextured Mario. We're really not beating the Green Mario allegations, are we, Luigi? But this game had something very interesting that's not actually found in the original version of the game: hover mode. Yes, in the early stages of Super Mario Kart's development, both normal karts and hover cars were available to race as. It's a pretty interesting way of playing the game, but it really doesn't add that much. Of course, the hover thing would sort of come back in the later Mario Kart world, just you wait. There's actually an even earlier build of the game that just uses 3 generic characters instead of the Mario characters, with a few other differences as well. It's quite interesting seeing a Mario Kart game where you can't play as Mario. The prototype that was created in November of 1991 had some very interesting additions as well. There's no title screen, instead it boots you to a wall of text, and we finally have most of the characters in the game: Mario, Luigi, Bowser, Peach, Kong, Noko, Kino, and Yoshi, which for the second half is their Japanese name, with multiple modes on how to play the game. There's the normal races, but there's also a mode known as Bat. This mode has you kicking red balls at each other. Possibly this was some sort of coin collection game? No one really knows, not even the cutting room floor. There's also a gun battle mode, where Mario and Luigi shoot either red balls or coins at each other, depending on what screen you're looking at is depending on if it's a red ball or a coin. No idea why, it's most likely a debug thing. Finally! Shooting in a Mario game! And there's also an editing track mode. Now that's cool. It's kinda like Mario Maker if it was for Mario Kart. Of course, it's very basic, but it's still very interesting to see what it would have looked like for Mario Kart in the 90s. Should have kept it in if you ask me. Finally, the 1992 prototype has some other interesting stuff. Finally! Something interesting! This was found in a huge Nintendo Giga leak that happened in 2020, that leaked so much stuff about the development of Nintendo games in the SNES and Nintendo 64 era. It's quite interesting looking through what was found, but I think those Nintendo lawyers may get a bit annoyed if you publicly talk about it, so I'll be brief. I won't talk about it, I swear! There's finally a title screen added to the game, oh thank god. There's races added to the game, oh thank god. The game's sound code is based off SimCity for some ungodly reason, and there's even more battle modes, and debug mode makes a return, oh thank god. These battle modes include Gate Race and Whack-A-Mole. The cutting room floor doesn't know much about either of these, so there isn't really that much to tell you. Sorry! Super Mario Kart eventually came out in Japan in August 1992, with the release being spread across the end of 1992 and early 1993, and is known as one of the greatest video games of all time according to Wikipedia and some articles. You have 3 speeds to choose from, with only 2 being available at the beginning, 50cc and 100cc, with 150cc being the one you unlock. And there's 4 cups: the Mushroom Cup, the Flower Cup, the Star Cup, and the Special Cup. The Special Cup is only unlocked after getting the cup for the first 3 in 100cc, just to make things difficult. This game takes inspiration from other racing games by including a rank out mechanic, with you not being able to get under 4th place, otherwise you'll be ranked out and lose a life. A life? Yes, taking inspiration from the Mario platforming games, this game includes lives, where you can start with 3 lives, with you being able to get extra lives by placing the same number 3 times in a row, because why not? They forgot to add 1-up mushrooms, I guess. Depending on what rank you get is how many points you get, and there's 5 tracks for you to prove that you're the best.
5?
Yes, for this game and this game only, each cup has 5 tracks instead of the usual 4 that appear in every other game. Each course is based on a location from Super Mario World, like Donut Plains, Bowser's Castle, but there's one iconic track that is unique to Super Mario Kart, and we're going to become a staple for every Mario Kart game following this one.
Mario Circuit 4?
Rainbow Road. Super Mario Kart introduces Rainbow Road, being the hardest track in the entire game, and it became the most iconic track of all time. This track just feels magical in other games. This Rainbow Road is pretty boring. Maybe that's just because of how good we have it now, but this Rainbow Road is one of the most boring tracks in all of Mario Kart. But overall, Super Mario Kart cemented the legacy of what Mario Kart would be.